Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Journal presented by members of the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. This is for September 2011. I'm Marc Morisseau. Also hosting today are Calvin Watts III and James Hinsey. And Jay's taking a little vacation day today. So,
hopefully he'll feel better.
Hopefully he'll feel better, and we'll see him next month. All right, it's already September, guys.
Yeah, it's the beginning of another season for Sci-Fi Journal.
That's right. Now, what year is it for us?
Yeah, I knew you were going to do this.
Is it 15 or 16?
15, yes.
15 years we've been doing this thing. Every freaking month for the last. Yeah, it's a lot of shows. See, that's what happens when you can't get canceled.
That's true.
Works out pretty good.
Oh, when nobody's watching.
When nobody, a lot of people are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's start off. As always, we talk about the wonderful world of movies with something we like to call popcorn previews. Take it away, Calvin.
Well, the first trailer that we have for you this month is called Contagion, which is going to be acclaimed director Steven Soderbergh's last film. Now, anybody who's been watching the show for a while know that I have a thing for end-of-the-world scenarios, apocalyptic scenarios, and this fits right in, as you can well see. So take a look at this clip.
It was a groundbreaking ceremony for a new factory.
Did she mention seeing anyone who was sick? Anyone on a plane, the airport?
No, she said she was jet-lagged.
The average person touches their face 3 to 5 times every waking minute. In between, we're touching doorknobs, water fountains, and each other.
Matt. Mom? No, go up to your room, honey.
So we have a virus with no treatment protocol and no vaccine at this time.
You had a seizure this morning, Beth.
She had a history of seizures and allergies.
As of last night, there were 32 cases.
Unfortunately, she did die.
Right. And he says, can I go talk to her?
Mr. Amoff, your wife is dead.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
What happened to her? What happened to her?
Is there any way someone could weaponize the bird flu? Is that what we're looking at?
Someone doesn't have to weaponize the bird flu. The birds are doing that.
Watch this. It's transmission, so we just need to know which direction.
On day 1, there were 2 people, and then 4, and then 16. In 3 months, it's 1 billion. That's where we're headed.
They're calling out the National Guard. They're moving the president underground.
People will panic.
Get away!
It will tip over.
The truth is being kept from the world.
Cook your samples, destroy everything.
Hello. I need you to get me the names of everyone who serviced this room. It's an emergency.
You can't panic now.
I know.
I'm gonna get you home.
I got people too, Dr. Cheever. We all do.
Don't talk to anyone. Don't touch anyone. Stay away from other people.
Get back in your car.
We're not sick!
It's figuring us out faster than we're figuring it out. It's mutated.
This is Soderbergh's last film is gonna really go out with a bang. I mean, as you can see, it's an all-star cast. I mean, you got Gwyneth Paltrow in there, stars Matt Damon.
Why is it his last film?
He's been doing films for a
a
long time. I mean, he did Sex, Lies, and Videotape, among many other stuff. No, he's retiring. This is it.
I heard he did some second unit shooting, directing for another film maker. You know, and that was kind of surprising. You know, he was taking second billing to this other film, just as maybe for fun.
But I mean, a ton of Kate Winslet. I mean, the list, Jude Law, and like I said, I'm a sucker for these movies. So right up my alley. Definitely gonna go see it.
Yep, should be good. Yeah.
Okay, the next couple of films that we have are Comic-Con, as you well know, just went by.
Yep.
And of course, we all know about 3 of the films coming out next year, The Avengers being one, which we will have the trailer for you soon enough. The other two, fortunately, though, we have good news, and we'll start out with The Amazing Spider-Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not Spider-Man 4, so it's not a Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi sequel, unfortunately. It's a whole new reboot. So here's the trailer, and see for yourself what you're going to be looking at.
You're gonna stay with your aunt and uncle for a little while. You'll be safe here.
Where are you going?
Something your mom and I have to do.
I want to go with you.
There. You have to go.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Mr. Parker.
Not much to tell, really.
Peter lives with his aunt and uncle.
I forgot all about that thing. Who's your dad?
What are you doing here?
I have nothing.
Do not get me in trouble. Don't touch anything.
Ready to play God?
Do you have any idea what you really are? We all have secrets. The ones we keep. And the ones that are kept from us.
So what do you think?
Looks good. Yeah, interesting perspective, you know, as far as the way they shot it with.
Yeah,
his point of view.
a little bit of the mirror's edge of video
That's
game,
what I was thinking.
free running type deal.
Right. Yeah. And I guess in this particular version, he's got to actually make his own webs, right? He's got to wear the web shooters.
Yeah.
Whereas, mechanical. Whereas the Tobey Maguire movies, that was when he was bitten by the spider, it becomes part of his body. But
right, the Tobey Maguire version went with like the ultimate version where he generated the webs himself, whereas the original '60s version, he made the web shoes. It looks like something his dad left in the briefcase that you saw in the clip.
So you know darn well at some point he's going to run out of web fluid. You know it's going to happen.
But again, even though there's a new guy playing Spider-Man, I think his name's Andrew Garfield, but Rhys Ifans, he's an acclaimed character actor. He's going to be the Lizard, and at least it's going to be somebody new, you know, not the Green Goblin again or something. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. It has my interest.
Yep, should be good.
As does this next clip and this next movie. Although I can't see how it's going to top The Dark Knight.
Oh, okay.
But The Dark Knight Rises is the third and supposedly final film in the Batman trilogy.
The Chris Nolan directing.
Here is the first teaser for that.
If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, then you become something else entirely. A legend, Mr. Wayne. A legend.
We were in this together. And then you were gone. dreamers.
So it's Catwoman and Bane is going to be in this.
So Catwoman and Bane.
Yep.
You don't really get to see a whole lot in that clip, although there've been a bunch of stuff coming out that you can check from like.
There's been a bunch of stills that have been out.
I guess there's going to be a Batcopter.
Oh. All right.
So they were showing stuff for that, and that looks kind of cool. But obviously at some point, Commissioner Gordon gets hurt badly.
Right.
Definitely has my interest though. So
yeah, should be good.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
Okay, what else do we have? Now, I am not the biggest Justin Timberlake fan, as my cousin will readily attest to.
Although all his skits when he does Saturday Night Live have been hilarious.
Those are the best.
So I'm not a big fan of his.
He's got some real funny stuff.
I'm not a big fan of his music, but you cannot deny that the dude has talent. I got to see Friends with Benefits earlier a few weeks back, and that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, but were you watching him or were you watching his co-star?
Well, Mila Kunis is, hey, what can I say? But the next movie that he's in, which is one of those movies that kind of came out of nowhere, I didn't know anything about it. A very interesting premise. It's called In Time.
Yep.
And instead of me just explaining it to you, why don't you just take a look at the clip?
Introduce my mother-in-law, Clara, my wife, Michelle, and my daughter, Sylvia.
Whoa, where's the rest?
Never met the quota.
My units are up from last week.
So is the quota.
Just once, I'd like to wake up with more time on my hand than hours in the day.
How old are you?
28.
I'm 105. The day comes when you've had enough. If you had as much time as I have, what would you do with it?
Sure as hell wouldn't waste it.
The last time anyone saw him alive, there was over a century on that clock.
Well, follow the time.
His name is Will Salas.
You can't hide 100 years in the ghetto.
You know that time will get you killed.
Hey, Mom, I'm gonna get out of here.
I just wouldn't know what to do if I lost you.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of your company before, Mr.
Salas. Will Salas.
I'm sorry to have to break up the party, Mr. West. I just need to work with your friend.
This is my death.
Please take me home.
Can't do that.
Why?
You're keeping me alive. How can you live with yourself watching people die right next to you?
You don't watch. You close your eyes.
I'm gonna make them pay. I'm gonna take them for everything they've got.
Come on, help yourselves!
Take the time, it's free.
You put enough time in the wrong hands, you upset the whole system.
Let's hope so. If this works, we gotta get more.
I can help you get all the time you want.
You know we're coming to get you.
His crime wasn't taking time. He was giving it away.
That looks fascinating. It really does.
Yeah.
I saw the clip for this when I went to go see Rise of the Planet of the Apes. They had a preview in there, and it looks pretty interesting. Yeah.
Which, as an aside, was really good. I did get to see that the other day.
Yeah, good.
I was impressed with that. Yeah, so you're able to pass on your time. So I guess you can just buy time if you want to keep on going.
Or you can earn it by bribing people or doing special things.
Very interesting premise, and Cillian Murphy is a great actor, so I'm sure it'll be really cool. So let's see, moving on. Another movie that's coming out really soon for all of you Twilight fans. And as you well know, I'm not the biggest, I mean, Twilight's okay. I don't really get into the whole teen thing. But Taylor Lautner is going to finally get his first starring role. And the movie actually looks pretty cool. It's called Abduction. Take a look at that clip.
Sometimes I feel different. I walk around like everybody else. Hey, Karen.
Come on, Nate.
Ready to party? Yeah! But inside, I just feel like I'm a stranger in my own life. Hello?
Nathan, I've got something you need to see. I found this site that shows you what missing kids might look like today.
You better make sure you're looking closely.
Why would my picture end up on a missing persons website?
If this is for real, then who are those people living in your house?
Miss Harper?
Yes.
We have a couple questions about your son, Nathan.
Son, go now! Run!
Nathan Price is a high-valued asset.
He escaped an attack last night. We've got 36 hours to find this kid before they do.
Suddenly, everyone around me is dying.
We've got to get out of here, Nathan.
Who are you?
I'm a friend of your father's. Your real father.
I want the video feeds from every security camera. Track his friends.
What's my real name? What's my real name?
Track anyone they've ever spoken to.
Who are these people?
They can't be trusted.
Listen to me, Nathan.
We're going to find you.
Not if I find you first.
Wow.
Whoever these people are, whatever they want, I have to stop them.
You have something that belongs to me. Now it's time to give it back.
What are you planning on doing, Nathan?
Trust me.
Play with no rules. You better be careful what you let out the box.
Well, Taylor Lautner is a pretty good actor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's been pretty good in the Twilight movies, and I wanted to use this clip because it seemed like it had an interesting premise. It almost looks like he might have some type of either supernatural or you know, extra enhanced powers that maybe, or something that they don't really go into it, but it seems like there's something there. He's not just a normal kid that was just taken away.
Yeah.
And it looks like it could do well.
It's his first leading role since Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Was he in that? Really?
In 3D. He was. Yeah, he was in that movie.
So, okay. I'm going to warn you now that this, for better or worse, is going to be the first in a fairly long line of, this is when you know Hollywood's running out of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain more after the clip. I will say it looks fun. Here it is.
You ready for this?
I'm going to walk up to him, look him right in the eyes.
What are you gonna say?
Your daughter is the best thing that has happened to me in my entire life. It would be an honor to have your permission to marry her.
What is wrong with you?
You went from enlisted to an officer faster than anyone in the history of the United States Navy. But I have never, ever seen a man waste himself better than you.
What my daughter sees in you is a great mystery to me. Enjoy these naval exercises, Hopper. They're likely to be your last.
What the heck is that?
Got an unknown surface contact.
Bridge, T.O., I've got nothing on the scope.
Let's get a team in the RIP to investigate this thing.
Hopper! You're on it!
Copy, sir.
Sir, my radar's totally down.
Prepare to fire.
Sir, which weapons?
Battleship.
There you
with,
go.
with Liam Neeson of all things.
I know.
And you know what? I mean, the premise is kind of crazy. So alien, they're gonna attack aliens, and you can see at the point when they pull the camera back. So there's your battleship premise.
Right.
And you know, it looks kind of cool, but this is the first in like a long line of movies based on games.
So Hasbro is doing its thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Hasbro, it's doing its thing. You know, Missile Command's going to be coming, and
Oh my God.
asteroids.
Does that mean we're going to get an
Monopoly, the movie?
Does that mean we're going to get an end of the world My Little Pony movie? That would be awful.
Maybe.
Zombie My Little Ponies.
What I like best so far of the trailer, though, is the scenes in Hawaii, in Pearl Harbor, because I've been there on a ship when I was in the Navy, and it's like, oh yeah, it looks like, you know, back when I was there, and then all of a sudden, aliens, uh-oh.
Just like being at home without the aliens, yeah.
So, the last movie that we have, and certainly not the least, is The Thing.
A remake.
A remake of a remake.
And this time, I guess the main character is a woman.
It's
right.
It's not so much a remake as it is like a prequel to the remake, because it happens like during the few days before that movie, when the ship got first found.
It is.
Yes, because you hear at the beginning of the John Carpenter one that this other team had disappeared.
So this movie's about the other team?
So this is the story about that other team that you hear about, but you never know what happened to them.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what makes it kind of cool.
Thickens.
Because then everything in it, you know, is just. You know, it's very exciting movie though. I mean, it's been really getting good reviews.
Yeah. Some would say gross too.
So here is that clip.
48 hours ago, we found something quite remarkable.
What'd they find?
There's a structure
In Antarctica.
and a specimen.
Really?
Touching down.
This is Kate Lloyd's, Columbia Paleontology.
Let me show you why you flew 10,000 miles. We estimate it's been here 100,000 years.
I'm going to take a tissue sample.
Do you really think that's a good idea?
Yes, I do. You, my friends, will all be immortalized as the people who made this discovery.
Did you hear that?
My God.
Somebody was attacked.
But it seems everyone is fine.
Either someone miraculously healed themselves, or someone is not who they say they are.
What was it doing to him?
It's imitating his cells. I think this thing copies its prey and then hides inside it. What are you saying? Not all of us are human. It could be any of us. We can't let this thing leave. If it makes it out of here, millions of people could die.
That's it.
Sounds good. All right, how about this time we skip ahead and go straight to Anime Daisuki and give James a little highlight time.
Sure.
All right. I get to go early. All right, just start off with for Anime Daisuki time. Funimation has discontinued the download to own feature that they've had. So I mean, there's ways you could download an episode that you've paid for, and then you can keep it on your computer. But now that that's going to be over, I think they were having problems because they think maybe people were uploading it somewhere else and sharing it.
I was just going to ask why were they discontinuing, and there's the reason.
Yeah. Let's see. Upper Deck International, which makes the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, has sued the Upper Deck company, the American subsidiary of their company, over a counterfeit card game for Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Upper Deck International had a contract with Konami to produce the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. And then Upper Deck Company in America wound up producing sort of the same kind of thing, selling it. And they also had a contract for the Europe market.
All right. Okay. So it's the same company but different divisions?
Yes, different divisions. And the American subsidiary Upper Deck Company, UDC, has been producing these card games, selling it as the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game.
But it's still the same company. So they're basically, in effect, suing themselves.
Yeah, except, there's a whole nother, CEO to the Upper Deck Company that is separate from the Upper Deck International Company.
Right.
So, and the way their contracts were between different companies, they were stepping on other toes. And so they were being sued by Konami before. And now the Upper Deck International, their mother company, is suing for like breach of fiduciary, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Can't we all just get along? I mean, it's just a card game.
I know.
It's just a very popular
very
card game.
Yeah,
but this is like millions of dollars.
Right, exactly.
Millions of dollars.
Why do I have the feeling that somehow China is involved in all this, too?
No. All right, ADV, or AD Vision, which produces dubbed versions of various anime, is suing Gainax over the rights to Evangelion, or however you want to pronounce it. ADV has been making payments since 2002 or 2004 to have the rights to make motion pictures, TV series, live action thing. That was their plan, to make a live action thing. They even went to Weta Workshop in New Zealand to get some production work for the Evangelion suits. But things have been on hold for several years, but they've been keeping their rights intact by making payments. And they made a payment this past February, or it was February 2010, of $100,000. But some of the paperwork they wanted to get back from Gainax didn't come through, so they claimed they lost a lot of money, or they lost the rights, or a deal with a production company or a studio here in the U.S. So they're suing, and it's trying to make them determine, who has the rights to Evangelion for all these things. And what they're actually going to ask for is kind of outrageous. They're asking for like perpetual rights to produce, distribute, exploit anything related to Evangelion, merchandising, what else? Commercial tie-up, soundtrack, recording, theme park, remakes, rewrites, sequels, prequels, and spin-off rights. They want everything now.
The flamethrower, the cereal.
I know. So
the Underoos.
I don't know. It's in court, kind of. Okay. So it's being worked through the court system.
Selfish bastards, get your act together.
There's a new Gundam AGE coming soon in October.
Another Gundam
series.
We know this because you talked about it a couple months ago.
Yep. And then there's going to be a new Code Geass series coming next year.
Wow.
Yep. So Code Geass was on Cartoon Network. I liked that show. It was good. I'm still watching Durarara. That's been an excellent show on.
Say that again.
Cartoon Durarara.
Durarara.
Durarara. So anyway.
We could go a lot with that play. Okay.
Yeah, the Adult Swim on Cartoon Network.
Oh, Adult Swim.
Oh, have you been watching Thundercats?
Oh yes, Thundercats.
What a good job they've done with that.
Really?
Yeah.
I know I haven't caught it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
They did do some homages to Melville, Moby's Dick, and the Grinch Who Stole Christmas with the Whoville.
Yep.
Kind of thing. It was kind of neat. You know, I recognized but the story was pretty good too on its own. Let's see, another good thing here. Toei has funded a live-action pilot for Starzinga, or Space Cateers. If you remember Force 5, Space Cateers, they've created like a 6-minute preview of what they could do for a live-action version. And William Winkler produced it. He's an American guy. But he's been doing this kind of stuff for years. But he showed it to the Sci-Fi Channel. They liked it. They want to see more. So, but because of the tsunami in March, things have been delayed. So I don't know how far it's going to go. Toei had also done the CG Captain Harlock thing and the Guy King one last year that they showed. So hopefully...
So on the bright side, you're going to have one of the Force 5 things potentially show up on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Right.
On the negative side, most people think that was the worst of the Force 5 things. Because it was supposed to be originally Mazinger Z, but obviously that didn't fell through. But it's still fun to watch.
Yeah,
and if they do it right.
Yeah, and I think Mazinger Z is a series that should stand on its own.
Yeah.
So, and Starzinga is related to the Journeys to the West Chinese story, which is also known as The Monkey King, which in Japan is called Sayuki, which was an awesome series in the late 70s, which aired in UK and Australia as The Monkey King, or Monkey, however you want to call it.
My only concern is if they do it live action, it doesn't come across like a really bad version of Power Rangers or something, you know?
True.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Could be.
Okay, what else?
All right. And then the mechanical designer Makoto Kobayashi, who did the work on Space Battleship Yamato, revealed that at the closing of Anime Expo that he is working on a remake of the Space Battleship Yamato series for release next year. So there'll be a new Uchu Senkan Yamato series coming next year. Could be, with the modern look and new effects and new animation production values. It could look really awesome. The success of the last two films, both the animated film and the live-action film, really calls for a new Yamato series.
Sounds cool.
Good.
And let's see. Harry Potter news. The Deathly Hallows movie has broken box office records, has reached $1 billion internationally.
Holy cow.
All worldwide. I went to see Harry and the Potters, the band, at Harvard Square last month. It was awesome. There's the Pottermore.com website that J.K. Rowling has, and they just had signed up almost 1 million people to be beta testers.
Right.
And I should be getting my owl pretty soon, saying that I'm one of them.
Good for you.
Oh, that's cool. They send you an owl?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm registered for the site too.
Yeah, I'm registered too, and I just got an email saying that I'll be one of them.
Very nice.
But they're going to be sending out more letters as weeks go on. But it'll be open for everybody in October. The HPMA Harry Potter fan group in Massachusetts is having a Halloween party October 28th.
You gonna go?
And and they'll be up in Salem, of course.
Ooh, okay.
Salem will be. It's a wicked awesome time.
Now, are you going
for Halloween?
Notice you
as
said
Snape, or are you going to
wicked
do something
awesome
else this
time.
time?
I don't know. I may work on a new costume, so a new version of Snape. So we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's it. That's great. You want to go back into Toob news?
That's fine.
All right, let's do some Toob news. Sci-Fi Channel, our favorite channel of all, cancels season 6 of Eureka. So, oh well. New episodes we're watching right now are considered part of season 4.5, even though season 4 was last summer. So they're currently shooting season 5 to air next summer. They was going to do originally a season 6, but then they've decided what they're doing now, and what we're going to see next summer in 2012 is going to be the last of Eureka.
Which I don't understand, because it's still doing well in the ratings, and they had already committed to this season 6, and which was going to probably be the last of it anyway. And this really came out of left field. A lot of people are not happy.
Yeah, they're not happy. They are going to have a special holiday episode on this December, and 12 stellar episodes to debut next year. So the summer of 2012 will get 12 episodes of Eureka, and then that'll be it for that particular show. But it had a good run, like 5 years. Which is good. I like Warehouse 13.
Yeah, Warehouse 13 is a lot of fun.
And speaking of Warehouse 13, Warehouse 13's H.G. Wells, that character, may get her own steampunk show.
Interesting.
Interesting. While it's still in the early stages and subject to change, the idea is to put H.G. Wells in an 1890s steampunk environment. So they might change her character a little bit. She would remain a free agent who uses her knowledge of contemporary science to solve murders and other mysteries. And in this particular scenario, Warehouse 12 tries to recruit her, but she decides to stay on her own instead. According to the storyline, if you're not familiar with it, H.G. Wells is the sister of the writer H.G. Wells. She's the one who actually has the adventures and gives her story ideas to her brother.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Plagiarizes her ideas and takes all the credit.
No wonder his writing after she disappears sucks.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and at one point there was a recent episode where they went back to the 1890s and she was having an exchange with her brother, and she was saying, "Whatever would you do without me?" You know, that type of thing. So that's what they're looking about. They're looking to also add the help of a mechanical engineer and utilize her relationship with the police commissioner to solve what appears to be unsolvable cases. So we'll see how they tweak that a little bit and whether we'll get a steampunk version of H.G. Wells, which would be kind of cool. Would be kind of nice. Doctor Who season 6.5, as we tape, launched August 27th. So there are new episodes of Doctor Who running on BBC America. TNT's Falling Skies has been renewed for a second season. That's the good news. The bad news is you have to wait till the summer of 2012.
Yeah, that's a great show.
Yeah, yeah, it was well done. The Walking Dead is going to be premiering earlier than expected. We're going to get new episodes on October 16th.
You want to talk about people messing around with the shows. I assume you know what's going on with that, right?
No, do tell, share, Calvin.
Producer and very acclaimed filmmaker Frank Darabont has been fired off of the Walking Dead set and off of the Walking Dead show. Apparently, he was clashing with one of the head honchos at AMC because even though it's been by far not just their best rated series, but one of the best rated series on basic cable over like the past 10 years. Apparently there was some budget issues that Darabont didn't agree with, so they just up and fired him, and it was just like that. There was a really good article, I believe, that was in either Entertainment Weekly or Hollywood Reporter. It's all over the net right now, and there's a lot of confusion, a lot of upset people, and hopefully it won't affect the quality, but there's going to be a lot of questions coming out of it.
Yeah, and even back in when the series, the first season ended, I heard that all the writers were let go. That he let them go. Yeah. So he was changing the whole thing. Well, now he's gone.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully it stays true to the comic book.
Yeah.
I hope so.
He may be an acclaimed filmmaker, but he's only made like 3-4 films. I don't know. But as a director.
Even the best can screw up.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. And then finally on TV news, September 23rd, Friday, September 23rd is a big day because there were 3 returning shows on that particular day. Nikita Season 2 premieres September 23rd. Supernatural Season 7 comes back on September 23rd at 9. And Fox's Fringe Season 4 premieres at 9 o'clock. So Supernatural and Fringe are going up against each other on Friday nights.
Wow.
We'll see what happens.
Wow.
Set your DVRs if you got them. And that's it. That's all I have for Toob News. Okay, how about we move on to Game Over? Got any stuff for Game Over this month?
You know what the theme for this month is going to be?
What?
It's going to be money. Who has it, who doesn't have it, who wants it, and who's going to be using it.
Oh my goodness.
We'll start off with who's going to be using it, namely us. I'm going to throw everything into just one big pile because it's all about money.
Is this because it's September and then people are getting ready already for the holiday season?
Well, 4 topics, yes.
Okay.
Gears of War for the Xbox 360, 3, Gears of War 3. The Star Wars 6 trilogy, that probably wouldn't be right. The Star Wars 6 films there.
Right.
The 2 trilogies.
The 2 trilogies, the good one and the not so good one. On Blu-ray for the first time. Also X-Men First Class and Thor all come out this month.
Oh, wow.
So for a comic book fan, geek fan, a video game fan, this is a great time if you have money.
If you get the money, yeah. Nobody says you can't wait. Okay.
So, also, if you have money, Batman's Arkham City, which is getting more and more buzz.
That's right.
One of the really cool things they're doing, or not so cool things, is that depending on where you pre-order the game, you can get a different skin for your Batman. Most of the games are going to come with their actual in-game, costume, and you'll get the Batman animated series one. But they have all sorts of different ones, which you can see was what you're looking at. They have like the iconic 60s version, they have the 70s version, the Dark Knight version, the Earth 1 version. There's like 7 different costumes there.
Yeah.
And so there's no, right now they're all exclusive, so who knows what's going to happen. They're going to offer it as DLC later on. I personally would love to play as a 70s Batman. That's just my own thing.
Is this something like if you go to Best Buy, you get one version, if you go to Amazon, you get another version, and
yes.
If you go to GameStop, you get another version,
yes,
that type of thing?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so it's sort of like what they did with Star Trek Online. If you bought one version, you can get a free Tribble. If you buy another version, you get the old-fashioned uniforms from the 60s, that type of thing.
Yep. So it's all about money, and then obviously as we get into the Christmas time, all of the heavy video games will be coming out. A lot of cool stuff looking forward to. But remember how we were talking about how Nintendo didn't really have a good showing at E3, and they weren't doing so well, and we were talking about that. People weren't happy with them, like their investors and stuff.
They had to drop the price of their 3DS.
Yeah, because it came out that they lowered their ratings forecast for their fiscal year 2012, which will end, fiscal years are weird. It's not calendar year, so I think it ends in like April or May.
Right.
They dropped their earnings forecast for the remainder of this year by 82%. That is freaking huge for a company that 2 years ago was #1 in the market and just blowing stuff away left and right.
So what happened?
Their E3 showing was really bad. The 3DS hasn't been selling as well as what they thought. The price point was really high. It's too expensive. So just a mere months after coming out at a less than $250 price point, they have dropped the price of the 3DS, it went into effect yesterday, down to under $170.
Yep.
That's a huge drop.
Now, isn't the Nintendo DS XL, isn't that like $169?
Yes. So now they're basically around the same price.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And didn't I read somewhere also there was going to be an option for downloading Netflix? You could stream on that 3DS.
Already out there, and yep, I have it on mine.
You get it on yours,
yes.
Right.
And it works. It's pretty well done.
Cool.
Now, for those early adopters who just spent the over $200 just a couple of months ago, needless to say, they're not happy.
No, I wouldn't be happy either.
And frankly, my wife and I are one of those people. And it's a good system, but yeah, so they're not happy. So Nintendo came out with this idea for an ambassador program, which basically means that if you bought the system early and you've gone online into their eShop, which you should have done already because they had like free downloadable games and other stuff, and it kind of works like the virtual console on the Wii, where you can get older console titles and newer stuff. You will be entitled to 20 free games. The first batch of those games are going to come out on September 1st, and they're virtual console games from the original Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. Games will include The Legend of Zelda, Balloon Fight, and Ice Climber. These 10 games will be available at some point to buy for everybody else, but for those people who had bought the 3DS before yesterday and signed into their eShop online website on through the 3DS, will get these games before everybody else. The second batch of games will be Game Boy Advance games. They'll be out by year's end, and these 10 will be exclusive to these ambassador people. They won't be for sale anywhere else. Some of those games will include Super Mario Advance 3, WarioWare, Super Circuit, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and the really cool Metroid Fusion.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So I mean, it's kind of nice that they're offering something. I mean, yeah, they didn't have to do anything, but you want to talk about how the mighty have fallen.
Now, how do you store those games? Is it a media card?
SD. They use SD card now, which seems to be one of the de facto, if not the de facto, memory type card, other than just like a USB flash drive, which I think is good. They need to have more of a
How
standard
many SD
thing.
cards are you going to need to store all those games? Or is there one sufficient? One's good enough?
No. The NES things are like a couple of megs.
That's it.
So I mean, you're
So it's not an
talking
issue?
No, it's not an issue. That's all I got.
Okay. And finally, it's time for Toys, Props, and Other
Stuff.
We need Jay back this month.
Not the same.
Where we point to collectibles and we talk about them. So whenever you're ready, Mrs. Camera Person.
Well, to start out with, we have a bunch of really cool figures from the Halo series. Most of these figures are from Halo 3, with the exception of Emil, who's in the middle with the really funky looking skull symbol on his helmet from Halo Reach. Really detailed figures. They're doing a lot of stuff with the Halo universe, which I'm really happy for. And there's actually a rumor coming out that there might be a Lego Halo game.
That's right.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Although if I was one of those Halo soldiers, I don't think I'd want to be dressed in the lime green uniform. It's kind of like a big target. Hey, look at me! All right. Okay. What else you got? We got books. Want to talk about your novels first? Go ahead, James.
Well, on the right there is a little Harry Potter notebook that one of the fans at the Harry Potter premiere in July had given to me. It was an extra book she had. It's like, oh, here, have this. And then next to that is?
Next to that is Serenity, the role-playing game, which is a really awesome game. If you're into Firefly or Serenity Universe and like role-playing games, that's a good book. It's got everything about the verse, characters, ships, and so forth. And they are working on a Firefly Universe online, an unofficial version.
MMORPG?
An MMO, which is good. Next to that is Glory Lane by Alan Dean Foster, one of my favorite artists. That book is from 1987. Along the lines of, it's comedy like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, those type of books. And it's got an awesome cover by Jim Gurney, who did the Dinotopia series. Next to that is Silverborn, which is book number 5 in the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. So if you like shapeshifters and werewolves and vampires and fae, that is a good series to pick up.
This is the first 3 books of the Immortal Instruments, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass. I just got these from the library. I've been reading City of Bones. It's about a young girl named Clary who, her mom's been kidnapped or something. She disappears and she's trying to find her mom with the help of some shadow hunters. Shadow hunters are out there who, they're hunting demons and things like that. It's an excellent series so far, and it's a New York Times bestseller. It's a young adult novel, fun to read. And then the fourth one there, Clockwork Angel, is sort of a prequel from the same universe. It happens 100 years earlier in Victorian England. So I haven't gotten to that book yet. I was told that I should read the City of Bones series first, and then I'd understand what's happening in Clockwork Angel. Clockwork Angel is one of the newer novels. It's another trilogy set. So these are written by Cassandra Clare, and they're a lot of fun.
Good. All right, and then we have Hallmark Star Trek ornament.
Yeah, that's the original Enterprise and the little space shuttle there. That is cool. I like it. It's like solid pewter with a little sound effect.
Space, the final frontier.
Ooh.
These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
And William Shatner still does not get any royalties from that.
No, he does not. As an aside, all of the Star Trek series, aside from, unfortunately for me, their animated series and Deep Space Nine, are now available for streaming.
Very nice.
Yeah. Online.
Very
including the HD versions of the original series, the remastered stuff.
Yep. I like the remastered stuff.
Yeah, me
they did
too.
a good job with that.
Well, it looks like Next Generation is going to get that done,
Yeah.
and you could see some of those episodes as early as the end of this year.
Yeah. Good.
Excellent.
Sounds
yeah,
good.
the first season, the effects were just too
Oh God, yeah.
sucky.
Yeah, but they got.
Now, what we have here are something I'm really glad I was able to finally get my hands on.
How glad are you, Calvin?
I'm very glad,
Okay.
since these are extremely hard to come by. Warner Brothers has been around for decades, and the movies that you're seeing here, or shows for that matter, are stuff that haven't been available commercially on DVD ever. And Warner Brothers has a huge treasure trove of films and TV shows going back a number of years that just probably wouldn't sell commercially all that well if it was released at retail. So they came up with this idea called the Warner Archive. And you can go onto their website, and I believe it's like warnerarchive.com, and they'll have a bunch of TV shows and movies that you might have seen when you were younger, and some really older stuff.
Right.
And you can order them. That's the only place you can get them from. And they come, as you can see, with a full-size, cover.
So
this, that, and the
it's
other
a
thing.
made-to-order DVD.
It's like a made-to-order DVD.
Very
They
nice.
have the Man for Atlantis available.
Yep, I've seen that.
Both seasons.
I
of
also
that
saw
with Patrick Duffy.
A City Beneath the Sea, which is a 1970s era movie I watched.
Right.
Cool.
So I ended up getting an email because they were having like a sale with Comic-Con, and those two things that you were seeing there is stuff I remember watching when I was a kid. The Last Dinosaur was a late 70s TV film starring Richard Boone,
God bless him.
who was like a big game hunter. He's like a billionaire, and they use this drill. They're looking for oil, and they drill through the earth, and they find this lost continent. And the effects are really cheesy, but it just struck me really well when I was a kid. And I haven't seen it literally in years. And so that was out there. But even that, though, pales into the legends of the superheroes. I mean, you're talking on a bad level quality. There's a Star Wars holiday special.
No, not that bad.
Well, close enough.
Close enough.
When Superman came out, the movie came out in 1978, NBC thought it would be a really good idea to try and capitalize on the superhero craze. So they hired, they got the rights to use the 60s Batman, actually got Adam West and Burt Ward, and licensed a bunch of other DC superheroes, and came up with these 2 one-hour specials. One was like a comedy roast, and one was an actual, like pilot for a series. And it just went over so bad, it was never rebroadcast. And up until now, the only way you could get them is through like bootleg copies.
Right.
So I've never seen this outside of maybe like a 4th generation VHS copy.
Right.
Now, these aren't remastered, but they're using the original broadcast material.
Okay.
And it's really cool because the website will show you exactly what you're going to get. Well, and they'll tell you right up front, well, this isn't remastered, but this is the quality that you'll get. And in the case of like Legends of the Superheroes, it's certainly watchable, and it's by far the best that you've ever seen.
Right.
And it was kind of cool. I got them in the other day, and there's actually like deleted clips and like extra scenes on the Legends of the Superheroes thing. I
Nice.
watched it for a few minutes, and Yeah, it's as bad as I remember. But that's what makes it so
But it's still
good.
fun. And that's probably Warner Brothers' way of trying to cut back on all these bootleggers too. You go to conventions and there's people selling all this bootleg stuff. You know, don't buy the bootleg stuff.
No, it's a great idea, and hopefully more studios will follow suit, because I mean, 20th Century Fox has been around for years. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that just have all this stuff just sitting there that people would love to have. So.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, if you want to get in touch with us, our website is www.risfc.org. Check the credits at the end of the show for more information on how to get in touch with us. That's going to be it for this edition of Sci-Fi Journal for September 2011. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you, Halloween coming up next month in October. Have fun in school.